them never thought about it. They said, why don't we do something to preserve Jamestown for all of history? Oh, imagine that. So they did. They formulated a plan. They organized the APVA, which is the Association for the Preservation of Virginia Antiquities, which is now under the control of one by the name of Dr. William Kelso, who is the head archaeologist here today. Now listen, I told you nothing here in 1900, right? But these women developed a plan, gathered the resources, and the ball started to roll from that point on, all right? Now freeze that. Jump into the future 93 years. 1993 was when the archaeologist, the head archaeologist, William Kelso, Dr. Kelso, came here. And you know what they wanted to do? They wanted to find the fort, the original fort. They knew there was a fort here. They knew that it was a triangle. Then they also knew that the side facing the water had eroded into the water. They knew that. They thought anyway. Let's get busy, folks. They did. Got their manuscripts, their drawings, whatever else they had, got them out, trying to figure out where to dig. Well, they did. And they started to dig. At this one point, or many points, but at one point, 3 feet in, a big black round shadow. What did that tell them? Oh, perhaps that was a post here. They kept digging. Long story short, they found one side of the fort. That went out on a diagonal toward the water. Now it was simple. We'll dig here, there, here. We're going to find something. Well, eventually they did. At the one particular point, again, they find this shadow about 2.5 feet in. And they trace it out, and sure enough, they come up with the second side of the fort. Now look, look, look. It goes out onto a V shape, and the side that's missing is facing the water. Dr. Kelso gets the team together and he says, there's something wrong here. Look how far away we are from the water. How could this fort have eroded there? So he said, let's start digging again. And at the pinnacle of where the two sides went out, they began to dig. Sure enough, post, 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 4 posts from the end, it disappeared. Those 4 were in the water. They found the fort that you see out there they're reconstructing. Okay, today if you go there, I wouldn't be surprised if you see them digging what is believed now, what they believe is to be 2 more sides of the fort. Now they sort of think there was a pentagon shape there. Woo! I'm telling you, you gotta go. And in fact, if this doesn't do it for you, this will. They are now excavating the church under the original one. They're tearing the whole floor up. The last time they did anything like that extensive was in 1901. This is the second time they have done extensive work. Go see it. They're making history today. And in September, it has to be buttoned up. They have to bring it back to its shape. Okay, that's enough of that nonsense. Look here. Here comes another story for you. Hey, who were the enemy of the English in 1600?
Dutch, French.
Oh, come on now.
Indians.
Spanish.
Oh, them too.
I'm going to take points away from you. All right, look here. And give them to this Oreo fan. All right, look. Sure, it was the Spanish. Now listen. We know from history that when they came here to America, they were to build a fort far away from the Spanish, and in the fort they're going to have a church, a guardhouse, and a storehouse. We know all that stuff, right? Okay. Now, what else did we know about what was in the fort and where it was located? Nothing. At least until recent times. Because no Englishman that we suspected wrote anything about the fort. Really? Who was interested? Nobody. In other words, where was the storehouse located? Where's the church located? Nobody wrote anything. But you know what? And they never ran into any Spanish on the trip. Guess what? There was a Spanish spy in the fort who got all that information out, and nobody was there, in there, to know any different. And as soon as I said there was a Spanish spy in the fort, somebody in the back, not you, by the way, but somebody standing in the back said, "You're a liar." Oh, I get that every once in a while. I do tell fibs every once in a while, but this time was true. So when she said that, well, when she said that, I always take these things complimentary. I dropped back a little bit. I took my surf pole. I always carry it. And I did this number. Zingo! And the line went out right there and caught her right in the mouth. Hooked her and I reeled her in. I said, "Oh yeah? Then you tell me, how did the map and the manuscript of that spy get to the archives in Madrid, Spain today?" Oh, nobody had an answer because that's a fact. Here's another fact. Some person next to that person there said, "We know all about that. That spy was in the fort, came out, they caught him, and they hanged him." Oh yeah? Then my question was, how did that map and manuscript get to the archives in Madrid? I said, "I know. Casper the Ghost brought it." You can laugh, it's funny. Okay. Well, I know you're all awake. All right, now listen. Read your history. Read your history a little bit. And you'll find out, believe me, that there's some serious... Behave yourself. I do? That's all right, he likes me. Hey, read your history. You're going to find out what the facts are. Here's another one for you. If you think that history isn't serious, let me throw this one out at you, because I can say that. I don't know how many teachers we have here. I was a teacher before myself, and I got this one. In the last summer, I had 2 teachers come out with some students. They had maybe 5 or 6 students. I don't remember what it was. We went out to the pier where the 3 ships are, and immediately when they saw that, they said, "The Nina, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria." Laugh, folks. That's not where the Nina, the Pinta, and Santa Maria landed. This is where the 3 ships from England landed. Oh, you people are not there. I bet you believe all that stuff. Look, the point being, history is being sort of eroded, if you will. And sometimes we get some glaring examples of it, as I just told you. Now we gotta hit that crossroad one day and figure out, hey, which way do we want to go? That's all I'm going to say. Take a look at this building right in here, to the right. That's a row house. That's 3 stories. Common in England in 1600. Now what you would think, that's the governor's house, by the way. What you would think around that's the plaster you would say is around that building, that is called wattle and daub. That's a mixture of marsh grass, mud, sand, spit on it once or twice, throw it on a wall, you got a good insulation. But even better than that, listen to this. Look at that roof. Look at that roof, everybody. Pay attention to the roof, not down to the trees, the roof. The roof is a thatched roof. How many of you, beside me, myself, and I, that's 3 of us, would prefer to have a roof like that on your house? Anybody? Anybody? Of course I knew none of you would say so, and you're all wrong. And I'm going to tell you why. Number 1, that's 14 inches of insulation topped with marsh reeds. All right? Oh, what if it rained? Well, so what? The reeds swell up. Nothing gets through there. Now somebody said, "Oh, but yeah, it's a fire hazard." Well, certainly. You don't deny the pros and the cons. It's a fire hazard. That thing would last over 75 years, if not better. What do you think they got in England today? And in Scotland and Wales? You'll see a whole bunch of these things. Why do these people have it? Because they're economical. All right, well, we're going to go in there in a moment and check all that stuff out. All right? And before we go into any of these buildings, we might go into church, I don't know. We'll see what the flow is in there. But I'm going to tell you, you're at probably the most important part of this tour. As soon as we hit that fort, you're going to see why, and you're going to hear why. You're going to see a church, a replica of the 3rd church, and then you're going to see why this is the most important part of your tour. Without a doubt. So, let's go inside there. Before we go in. This is funny, by the way, so I want to tell you in advance so you can laugh. Anyway, Listen, there was a lady that said, and she had some good questions, believe me, she had some good ones. She said, now let me ask you, you are talking about that structure in 1607. I said, yes. Well, let me ask you a question. I said, go ahead. She said, what if you had a bug infestation? Well, I thought that was sort of a comedy or something. So what I said, simple. You call Orkin, and they take care of the problem. Got it? No, you don't even know who Orkin is. But anyway, follow me into the fort.